It's now been over a month since the release of Master Duel, and as we move past our gracious little honeymoon period in where we completely ignore any and all flaws of the game because of the fact we finally have a online simulator officially recognized and supported and continuously added upon to somewhat replicate and reflect in real life play. Woo boy, are we just so pleased about that. And I guess after the game was dropped completely randomly out of nowhere, we've wailed and played the game to such exorbitant amounts, at least me as a streamer, you know, with running this game 7+ hours a day or something. It's probably time to take a little reflection here and see just exactly how Master Duel is doing 1 month later. So this is a continuation from a first part video in where I did a little review called Is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Worth Playing, in which I highlighted many and a lot of the positives that the game had to offer, of which there are plenty and many reasons that still stand true until this day. But as time has gone on, some of the seams are starting to crack open and burst upon and flow forth. I'm not going to continue with that image. Anyway, the point is that there are obviously some things and issues with the game that I just gonna want to like talk about today and vent a bit, because as time goes on, it's starting to show some of the changes and things that I feel like a lot of players would hope for and ask for kind of haven't really been addressed yet, even though it has been obviously only a month. I'm hoping that you will give me your thoughts on some of the things that I'm going to break down and talk about in this video. Everything that I said in the initial video still stands true. The game is a beautiful cinematic beauty. It is amazingly gorgeous to look at and play through for the most part. The dueling, I find, generally is extremely seamless. The music, the story modes are somewhat engaging. I would have liked some voice acting or whatever potentially, but for the most part, it is just such a glorious experience and a great way for a new player to jump into the game, and absolutely fantastic. Like, no complaints about the actual gameplay itself for the most part. I think a lot of the issues that I have are actually not gameplay related, because guess what? Yu-Gi-Oh! As a game is kind of good. I know, right? Crazy. It's just Farfa, how could you say that? But yeah, I think like the gameplay itself obviously is amazing. That's the best part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm just gonna go through these in no particular order or anything. Some of these might seem extremely nitpicking and biased. Bye. I understand that, but also some of these are actual like real problems that I think are pretty major. But anyway, let's talk about the minor gripe that I have with the interface. I still cannot stand that little minor delay when you go from menu to menu. So here's Master Duel loaded up. You log into the game here, you get your initial loading screen here. Yes, that's fine, right? So now the game's fully loaded and ready to go. And then you go to the duel room over here because you want to duel. Oh, actually, I'm going to go check my deck really quick. Why does it load again? You go and check your deck, and then I'm going to go jump into solo mode. Why did it load again? And as I go from different section to section, there is a little load that doesn't let me click on the next section until it loads for a second. I don't know why this is such a massive irritation for me, but it just is. Okay, now the deck building in Master Duel is generally pretty good. It's quite easy to search for cards and filter relatively okay. I still think the filtering system that they use is very clunky, but you do get used to it after a while. I think for the most part, I'm a bit biased in this way because I am someone who's played a lot of unofficial simulators like Dueling Book and EDO Pro, and let me tell you, those games are extremely fluid when it comes to filtering, searching, and pinning down card effects that you just want to search through the database to be able to put in your deck, and the hotkeys that allow you to quickly put cards from side to the main deck, like shift clicking and stuff like that. Obviously, there's no side deck in Master Duel, but just as an example, as someone who has been spoiled for choice with the amount of unofficial sims there are, it does really give a bit of a testament to Master Duel, the fact that I feel that the other games, both of them together, have their positives over Master Duel, and I feel like generally are a little bit better. But that isn't without saying that obviously Master Duel is without a doubt better than any Yu-Gi-Oh! Game we've ever had in terms of its deck building, of course. But then again, that really isn't a lot to compete with, because the last relevant Yu-Gi-Oh! Game I feel like was Legacy of the Duelist, and that game was fine. A minor gripe that I had was during the Ixi Festival. I don't know if you've noticed, but you get one Ixi Festival deck slot. Then in that deck Ixi Festival slot, you can copy a deck from your main deck builder into that slot. Now, if you try and play a new deck, you have to copy the deck from your deck editor into the slot, overwriting the deck in the process. Meaning that you could only ever have one Ixi deck slot that you would have to constantly copy and overwrite from your deck builder. builder. And if you made the mistake like me, which is when you join the XE Festival, you just built the deck through the XE Festival deck builder and not the deck builder that you get in the main menu, that is just lost forever. You don't actually get to save it. It's such a clunky and annoying system that I find so bizarre. Why is it that you can't just take your deck from your deck builder and then join the XE Festival with? Why do you have to copy it into a slot first? I don't know, something about that just really annoyed me, and I felt that that was just a really weird way to have it by having this one singular deck slot. But that's just for the events itself. Other than that, I don't think there's too many issues with deck building that I think about. I guess it's just the slowness that I find sometimes when it comes to filtering cards. Let's talk a little bit about the friends. Friends! We all love friends. Well, most of us. Some of us sit in our rooms and cry on Saturday evenings. That's not the point. Let's... Why would you bring that up? The friend functionality and menu in the game is... okay, I don't know what it's there for. So you can follow people like me. Friend code down here in the screen or something. Make sure you follow me because it gives me this real sort of clout chasing ego boost that I need to fill that insecure void and never mind. The point here is that when you mutually follow each other, the only extra added function that you can see from that is that you can see when your friend is online and you can invite them to a duel. But the thing is, when you invite them to a duel, it pops up momentarily and then leaves you a notification. Then you have to go on that and then join the duel, which I think is quite useful. But you can't talk to each other, which is odd, because that brings me to the next point. There's a block function. Yes, I don't know if you realize that, but you can block people on Master Duel. And if you aren't able to talk to people, I don't see what the block function really allows you to do other than stop someone from following you. I don't know. I've never tested it. Maybe it means you can't queue up against them, but that means, hypothetically, I can just block every good Yu-Gi-Oh player in the world and only queue up against bads. Somehow, I don't think that's how the block function works. Anyway, the point is, I don't think the friends list is too fleshed out. In fact, it doesn't really do anything. I can kind of understand the reason as to why you can't, you know, talk to people in Master Duel, because let's be real, you queue up and rated, your opponent flips a skill drain on you, you add them, and you message them a racial slur like his 2008 Modern Warfare on Xbox 360. Konami probably don't want that to be some sort of standard social interaction in their game. I get it, but I just don't really see what the friends list and function is really offering in terms of functionality. Customization is basically non-existent, to tell you the truth, at least in terms of the new stuff, I think. Customization is actually pretty good in the sense that I do like the titles and stuff you can give yourself. You can change your banner, your profile icon. I suppose, like I mentioned in the XE Festival review video that I posted the other day, it's mostly just the fact that there's a lot of lack of options and there isn't a lot of ways to pinpoint and unlock and find out what exactly there is. I recently discovered there's a demon title in Master Duel, which you can get from FTKing your opponent X number of times. So that's a cool title you can get. But other than that, there is actually not that many good or unique titles in the game that are obtainable, not that I know of anyway, because there is no way to check, which I suppose is sort of a cool achievement hunting way to go about it. I suppose it would just be cool if we had more titles and more monster arts that we could put on our profile, because I feel like that is a very important and really great way of a gamer expression and way to show off your achievements and credentials by showing that you've got like X number of FTKs or something through your profile. And I think that would just be a good way to add to the customization of the game, which I just feel like is not really lacking the structures of, it's lacking the content of. And what I mean by that is, like, the structures of having a title, a picture, a profile, a frame is there, that's fine, right? But it'd be cool if there was more options within those sort of microchasms of the customization. I want to talk a little bit about the dusting and rarities in the game. Number one, I think the rarity system is quite bad, and I'm talking about the cosmetic here, the glossy and the royal. The royal I think looks quite good. I think it's quite nice. It is very nice, but I don't think it's as nice as how it looks. I think because of how rare it is, and it is very rare to get a royal in the game, it's not as good as I think it looks, but that's besides the point. It's a completely subjective thing. Glossy, I will say, is totally useless. I mean, it's just like this tiny little shine effect that's barely noticeable. I don't know why it's there. I guess for people like me who don't care about that stuff, I guess it's just a tiny little bit of extra dust that they can get to create better cards with. I just don't understand why it couldn't be a little bit more distinct, because if you compare it to something like Hearthstone, and that's probably the only comparison that I can make, is that you have a regular card, and then you have a gold, and then you have a diamond. And those are very clear, distinct cards with different colors and different embossing and shapes on the card. Whereas in Yu-Gi-Oh, the glossy function is just like literally just unnoticeable. If anyone here has ever played on Yu-Gi-Oh Omega, the simulator, you will know that even just something like a super or an ultra rare on Omega actually looks good compared to a regular rarity of that card. And it's crazy to me that a unofficial simulator can create graphically more richer cards than the official simulator. So definitely not impossible, I think. And one of my major gripes with the Royal Rare is that there isn't really much of a deterministic reward or system involved there. Now, what I mean by that is the only way to ever possibly obtain a Royal Rare is to randomly craft it. Unlike in, for example, Hearthstone, where you can actually invest in getting a high rarity card if you have the dust for it. I think it would be kind of cool if we could just make, rather than the, normal cost of 30 dust to craft an ultra rare, why can't it cost 90 dust to craft a royal version of that card, or 120, or whatever arbitrary number you want to make it? At least make it somewhat deterministic for people who care about the shininess of their online digital cards because they have some form of insecurity that they're trying to relegate. It's not about me. I'm not talking about me here. It's not, why are you looking at me like that? And speaking of the dusting system, I want to mention a little bit about the unique currencies that there exist. So there is super, ultra, etc. I don't understand why I can't have that all be unique. One unique currency called dust, or whatever you want to call it, right? Because you can only use ultras to make ultras, and you can only use supers to make supers. And I feel like that is not great, because maybe I just need a bunch of commons or rares for a deck. Why can't I just get rid of like one super and then basically build an entire common deck that I might need? Or vice versa. Why can't I dust like a bunch of supers that I don't need and then make one or two ultras? Now, obviously, I know what the reason for that is, because they want to go to the store and buy packs, but I just think it would be a good system if maybe they gave you like a actual currency where supers gave you like, I don't know, like 10 dust, so that 3 supers make an ultra. Or the numbers aren't important, right? They can tune that however they want. But the point is like, it would be cool if it was one singular currency. Because right now I have like an obnoxious amount of super rares that I just don't care or need. And those could be put towards ultras that I really still need or still want. Like, for example, Crossout is a card that I still don't own yet in terms of staples. The tournament mode of the game is quite terrible. Still, not much has changed there. It's great if you want to play Apex Legends or Fortnite in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you just join a room and you just duel out your mind. You've had 7 games. The guy to the left of you has had 3. The guy below you has had 4 duels. And it's just this big shit show of people joining and playing whatever. And that's it, right? Because the only way to actually have a functioning good room is to run it through a third party, that is, run through Discord, or have a tournament organized through Discord or something like that. The room itself in-game serves no purpose or functionality. I don't really see what it offers you. It's just, I guess, a nice way for content creators personally to just have a bunch of people join and watch some replays for fun. But other than that, for the average regular Yu-Gi-Oh player, I don't see what a room really offers other than a way to have a tournament. But again, you would have to run that externally for it to be fully fleshed out and functioning decently. I think that the gems are quite overpriced. Now that we've gone through that period of getting a lot of gems front-loaded for new player rewards and new account logins and stuff like that, and we've had a couple of celebrations of like 100,000 downloads or whatever it is, they gave us some gems for that. That's obviously really great and amazing, and we, appreciate that. But when you actually buy gems on the store, if you think about it, it's £70 for 5,000, roughly, and that means you're getting about 50 packs. And for 50 packs, you're getting roughly 10 ultra rares for £70. 10 ultra rares for £70 kind of sounds good, but when you consider the fact that a lot of those ultra rares are going to be completely useless and not anything you ever cared about pulling, you're maybe rounding that down to somewhere like 3 to 5 ultras you actually want once you've dusted, or maybe even been lucky enough to pull one of the ultra rares that you need from a subsequent secret pack. Is that good value for money? I feel like that's a lot of money and quite overpriced, but I don't know how you feel about that. The biggest gripe that I have really with the gems and pack shop system that there exists is the secret packs. I don't know if this is crazy and if I'm just really selfish, but why is it that when you unlock a secret pack, it just unlocks forever? Why does it only have an arbitrary 24-hour time limit on it? Well, I know why. It's because they want you to, little Timmy's home from work. He's just kind of bored. What can I do? Join Master Duel Excelsior. I need some serotonin. I've had a bad day today. Let's go do some gamba. I'm gonna drop $10 and buy some packs here. Okay. Ooh. I pulled an ultra rare Madolche Tiramisu. Now, I kind of like Madolche, but not enough to have built it initially because it's like my 4th favorite deck, so it's not really been a priority for me. But now I have the most powerful card in the entire archetype, and I've unlocked the secret packs. But I only have 24 hours to pull from this pack and try and get the rest of the tiramisus and glass souffles and supers that I need for this deck. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to spend more money right here and now. So that is why, obviously, the secret pack exists, because it's supposed to entice you to try and spend more with this invented and created limitation or scarcity that doesn't actually exist, because there is no scarcity. They just chose to make it an arbitrary 24-hour limit for whatever reason. That's fine. I get it. I totally understand the logic, but at least meet us somewhere in the middle here and give us like a week or something as a unlock time, right? Like, I don't know. I just 24 hours. It just seems ridiculous to me. Maybe I'm being ridiculous for expecting an unlock to be unlocked permanently, but I just feel like that's completely reasonable. And my final major gripe here that I want to talk about before this video ends up being like half an hour. Oh my god, what is the point of legacy packs? Why do those things exist? They do nothing. Nothing. What's a legacy pack for? Now, there's a couple of random ultras that are actually reasonable. Like, I kind of really personally want an acid golem. I refuse to craft one because I know it's in there in the legacy pack somewhere. But that card's great in Burning Abyss because skill drain is at 3 in Master Duel. So I thought, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to try and get an acid golem. It's very, very hard to get the exact card you need because it's random and there's a ton of ultra rares in the legacy pack. Most of them are dog breath. Really bad. And this is the most frustrating thing about legacy packs. You can't dismantle the cards. What? You cannot dismantle the cards. So one of the major currencies in the game outside of gems is legacy packs. When you duel in ranked, when you duel in Xyz Festival, which I guess is a recurring theme in the future because now we know we're only really going to get gems and legacy packs or relevant packs for that event. I think they're called Xyz packs. You can't dismantle those cards. Legacy packs, Xyz packs, synchro packs in the future, fusion packs in the future. Those cards can't be dismantled. And it's like, bro, these suck. I don't need 3 Tiras. 3 Tiras I have in my collection. Maybe I'll keep 1, sure, but I can't get rid of 2 of them. What about my 4th or 5th Tiras? Can I get rid of those? Like, I don't know, man. It's just ridiculous how you can't dismantle those cards. So, thank you for watching. A lot of the points that I have aren't super major, except, I suppose, maybe a couple of the currency things that I think I'd really like to see sort of shaked up a bit. Overall, again, I just want to say, like, the Master Duel is an incredibly amazing, fun game. It's just a couple of, you know, minor tweaks and stuff here and there that they could make that I think would be really amazing. I, for the most part, I'm extremely satisfied with the game, and personally, still after all of this time playing, I'd still give it a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. And it's just some of these mostly monetary systems in the game that I feel like should probably try and maybe they could do something about to make it a little bit more generous, but not necessarily more generous, just like make it make more sense, I suppose. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below by leaving a comment and expressing what you think are some of the major gripes or positives that you've seen with the game so far. Thank you for watching, and make sure you tune into my live streams where I stream every single day from 2 p.m. onwards. That is twitch.tv/Farfa. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and everyone wants to know, Farfa, when will you be doing table 500 for Master Duel? The answer for that is soon. Alright, see you later.